Hello and welcome to this ScanMed corridor update on what has been happening since we last met. Thank you for taking the time to view this short report. But first, let me express the hope that you and your loved ones have safely come through the COVID-19 crisis. If you have lost someone close to you, I offer my sincere sympathy. No country has escaped this pandemic, but on our corridor, none was more affected than Italy, and in particular, to our Italian colleagues and friends, on behalf of our corridor family, I offer our sincere condolences for all that you have suffered. Since we last met, the European Court of Auditors published its report on 8 cross-border transport infrastructure projects, including the BBT and Fehmarn Belt. It offers a critique that I personally found to be superficially rigorous, but somewhat lacking in appreciation of the complexity in technical, environmental, planning and financial terms of such mega projects. As we know, these involve a high number of stakeholders and consultations, including several member states, different levels of public administrations, different permitting procedures, different infrastructure managers, and different organisational and regulatory legacies. And of course, therefore, their implementation takes time. We continue to make steady progress with the Brenner Base Tunnel. I'm happy to report on Monday the 6th of July, the first tunnel boring machine in Austria reached its final breakthrough destination. It started in Arental and broke through almost 17 kilometres further in Wulf, next to the adjacent Fonsbrenner lot. The BBT work rhythm, of course, has been interrupted by the pandemic, but will remain determined to drive it to completion on time. Also, I'm pleased to report, as regards the Fehmarn Belt fixed link, that vital work on preparing the fixed link construction site is advancing, and we await soon the end point of the planning deliberations before the Administrative Court in Leipzig, after which we expect the pace of the project will greatly accelerate. Fehmarn reminds us of the complexity of planning and permitting in a cross-border context. We note with satisfaction that the Council and the European Parliament have concluded legislation for a new directive on speeding up permitting for cross-border projects to better coordinate their planning timetables. This asks Member State authorities to give priority to such projects and will pertain to the pre-identified cross-border links and missing links of the 10T core network corridors as contained in the annex of our new CEF2 regulation. This directive, of course, will need to be transposed into national law. It envisages an enhanced role for 10T coordinators, and we should have a right in future to contact the relevant authorities directly when deadlines are not met. As regards activities, as coordinator, I've been confined to the virtual world, but have remained active and busy on our corridor work. There have been 3 meetings of 10T coordinators during the lockdown. The most recent was held with Commissioner Valian in mid-June. We were fully informed of the Commission's valuable initiative on green lanes, which brought order and fluidity to essential supply chains throughout the internal market after Member States closed their borders in responding to the health crisis. As a transport community, you should be proud, and we all should be grateful, that by land, sea and air, transport services literally deliver the goods. We were fully briefed on the Commission's advice to transport operators across all modes on the safe return to work protocols as regards distancing and sanitary conditions. And we had an in-depth exchange of views on China's Belt and Road Initiative in advance of the recent EU-China summit. In addition, with Martin Zeitler, we've met MEPs, and also, assisted by Uwe Sondermann, we met the chairpersons of the Brenner Corridor platform. These chairpersons are completing vital work, especially on shared freight and passenger forecasts for the Munich to Verona Brenner corridor. This will be a first, long overdue output, whose absence was criticised by the Court of Auditors, but whose necessity already was recognised and acted on by us when we renewed the Brenner Action Plan several years ago. Since we last convened, I've attended 5 meetings of the BBTSE Supervisory Board. Our new CEOs are working well as a team, but implementation has been slowed due to the coronavirus. We held a virtual conference with the corridor member states on the 22nd of June to discuss the impact of COVID-19 on transport systems, to share views on the proposed Commission's recovery and relaunch plans for the European economy, and to contemplate the finalisation of our 4th corridor work plan. Finally, we returned to the use it or lose it principle and the reflow call. On the 16th of July, a total of €2.1 billion was reallocated as a result of the use it or lose it principle. Of this, 272 million in grants has come to the Scandinavian Mediterranean corridor. Every member state on the corridor succeeded in winning support on this occasion. Grants ranged from the greening of ports and ECTS projects to access routes for the Brenner-based tunnel and the Fehmarnbelt Fixed Link, to new Scandinavian rail links, CITS projects in Italy, urban rail in Germany, and a very wide variety of studies in many member states. Thank you for your attention.